Good morning, everyone. Today we will be discussing about theory of simple gases and ideal equation for microcanonical ensemble using quantum mechanics. Okay, so in the last few classes we were discussing about the formulation of quantum mechanical statistics or quantum statistics representation, and we were discussing about symmetry wave function, and we were discussing about how do we represent grand canonical and microcanonical ensemble in terms of quantum mechanical representation. So that's what we were discussing. Now with that foundation, we'll be discussing about the ideal gas situation in terms of quantum mechanics. In that, first we will be discussing about the microcanonical ensemble explanation. So the ideal gas equation for the simple gases using quantum mechanical theory. So that what we will be addressing in the first session. Okay, so we'll start with the session. So we know that whenever we discuss the ideal gas, we have already dealt with for the classical mechanics situation earlier in the discussion. Okay, and we know that whenever we discuss the ideal gas particle, we used to consider a gas particle. Okay, so the gas particle will be considering that it is non-interacting. Okay, so non-interacting gas we will consider, and also we say that it is indistinguishable. When you consider a quantum mechanical case, we mainly treat the particle as indistinguishable non-interacting particle. That is the assumption we're taking, and we will also consider that which possessing a volume and a energy E corresponding to that. Okay, so we are treating a gas which having n number of non-interacting particle, which is indistinguishable when you consider in quantum mechanics. When classical mechanics we consider, it is the particle will be distinguishable. And now we also know that whenever we specify the volume and the energy of a particle and the number of particles is n, then we know that the microstate for a microcanonical ensemble, okay, so which we represented as omega n v is the microstate corresponding to a microcanonical ensemble, where the number of particle, volume and energy will be constant in this case. Okay, so we'll discuss what is the microstate of an ideal gas in terms of in by the explanation of quantum statistics. So that is what we'll be discussing here. So here also we'll be taking an example of ideal gas. Okay, and we'll be considering the quantum mechanical microcanonical ensemble corresponding to that. So that was the aim for today. So for that, what do I do is that first let me assume that we have a large volume. Okay, so if a large volume is there, then we can say the number of particles will be larger and the energy state corresponding to that will be also larger. So let me just draw a energy state. Okay, so we say that this is the ground state and we have different energy levels corresponding to different levels. Okay, and this section of energy level which possessing the energy even, let me just draw with the another line, that is okay. So this one part, and again I'll be having different energy levels over this line. Okay, and again I'll be just separate with this energy level, a bigger one, and let me specify that what is that two separations happening there. Okay, so this is how I do represent the different energy levels. So we considering a large volume which having a number of particle and energy will be a different state. And here you can see that in this state, if I do represent here, okay. So here you can see that we have represented three levels there. Okay. So this group of set, you can see that different energy levels you can see in between these two separation and these two separation, which we call it as energy cell. Okay, energy cell. So what is energy cell? Energy cell is a large number of, okay, it is a large number of or a group of different levels. Okay, it is a large number of group of levels. What are these are actually basic different energy levels, okay, which we drawn here. And energy cell, we call it as this particular region, this is we call it as energy cell. Okay, within the energy cell you can see that these all having the average energy. If you consider the average energy of this particular cell, which I notate as epsilon 1, the average energy of this energy cell, and average energy of this particular cell I notated as epsilon 2, and this is epsilon 3. And I could also represent, so over epsilon I can say that which has the average energy corresponding to that. Okay, so this is the average energy, so which I can specify that epsilon I. So for different level, epsilon I can be epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3, like that. Okay, and you can see that there are different energy levels also you can see over here, so which I represent as with G. So where G is the number of levels in a given energy cell, that is which I can notate as Gi. Okay, Gi. Okay, so corresponding to epsilon 1 there will be energy levels, that will be G1, and here it will be G2, and this will be G3, like that. And now if I specify the number of particles present in each level or each energy state, which I can say that n representing the particle number of particle in given energy levels. Okay, so for corresponding to each one I'll be having Ni, and here you can see that corresponding to epsilon 1 G1 will have number of particles treated as N1, here will be N2, and this will be N3. Okay, so here you can see that for N1 is the energy level, epsilon 1 is the energy average energy, and G1 is the number of level in a given cell. So these notations are important. Okay, and now let me say that I'll be notating a distribution of Ni. Okay, so a distribution of N particles with the state Ni. So this curly bracket over Ni representing the distribution of Ni particle, and we can see that N1 is the first cell and N2 corresponding to the second cell, etc., like that. And if you take the total distribution of particles, then you will be getting the total number of particles corresponding to that one. So that is, if I take I equal to 1 to Ni, so which is equal to what? Which is equal to the N, that is the total number of particles in the given microstate. Okay, so we got the total number of particle. And if you want to get the total number of energy, so which is corresponding to what? Which is corresponding to Ni epsilon I. Okay, if you take epsilon I, sigma I equal to 1 Ni epsilon I, then you will be getting the total energy corresponding to this case. Okay, total energy. So here you can see that epsilon I and I. What is epsilon Ni means? It is actually a combination of what? It is a combination of N1 epsilon 1 plus N2 epsilon 2 plus N3 epsilon 3, etc., which is equal to which is the total energy associated with the state. Okay, so hope you understand that. And now let me say that what is the microstate then, and how do we the microstate of this case, or how do we describe this one for a large volume case? How do we describe the microstate? So that is equal to, the microstate can be represented as N VE. Okay, the microstate is given by sigma distribution of Ni, okay, omega Ni. Okay, so let me just say that what is this representation meaning is that, okay, what is this is representing is that this omega Ni, where Ni, this curly bracket representing the distribution of Ni particle over the entire system. Okay, so we'll have, so this omega Ni representing the number of distinct microstate associated with the distribution set, associated with the distribution set sigma, sorry, curly bracket Ni. Okay, so where omega Ni is the distribution set corresponding to distinct microstate associated with it, because we can say that there will be many microstate will be having Ni as the number of particles. So Ni curly bracket representing the distribution of different particles, and if you take omega Ni and if you take the summation of all these distinct microstate, then you will be getting the total microstate corresponding to that. And omega Ni representing the number of distinct microstate associated with the distribution set Ni. Okay, so which will combinedly giving the total microstate of a entire system. And what is this omega Ni? So this omega Ni, which I can represent like this, which is a product of, here I represent pi I, where pi representing the product of omega I particle. Here you can see that the sigma representing summation of this one, right? And this pi is basically the product, okay, product of different particles. That is, if I take omega I, omega of I means omega of, it can be represented as omega of 1 into omega of 2 into omega of 3. So this is a representation of omega 1 plus omega 2, sorry, wrongly represented. So pi omega of I means, which I can say that it is basically representing omega of 1 into omega of 2 into omega of 3. So it is actually pi is a representation corresponding to in taking the product of something. So what is omega I here? Omega I can say that it is a number of distinct microstate associated with ith cell of the spectrum. Okay, this is also representing number of distinct microstate, okay, associated with ith cell of the given energy spectrum. Okay, then if you take the product of entire omega of I, then you will be getting the this distribution function or distribution set of this, you will be getting the number of distinct states with the distribution set. Okay, so here you can see that the representation corresponding to that, and omega I is basically giving the, for example, if you consider a state that is n1 and g1, which has epsilon 1. Okay, so omega I will be giving, or the corresponding to this one will have omega 1. So omega of 1 is a distinct microstate which having the number of particle n1 and the number of levels g1 and the average energy epsilon 1. Okay, so this is what we will be getting corresponding to omega of 1 means, where you will be getting a number of distinct microstate associated with the ith cell of the spectrum. Okay, so this is an example of n1 g1 epsilon 1, and correspondingly you will be getting omega of 1 corresponding to this particular energy cell, because we know that this is the first energy cell we observed in the earlier case. Okay, so omega 1 is actually the number of distinct microstate associated with the first cell of the given energy spectrum that we have seen in the earlier case. Okay, now what is our duty is to find the microstate for different types of particle and find the this omega of Ni, that is number of distinct microstate associated with Ni for different types of particles. That is our next job to be done. So what is the different particle? So we have seen in the last discussion, we have seen two kind of statistics. One is Bose-Einstein statistics and Fermi-Dirac statistics. And we have seen that which having integral spin, which are bosons, and which are satisfying Bose-Einstein statistics, and the particle which having half integral spin, which is possessing Fermi-Dirac statistics, and which particles are called fermions, which is possessing an anti-symmetric wave function, and for bosons it is possessing a symmetric wave function. So that we have discussed in the earlier case, and there is an additional statistics also which we call it as Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, which is applicable for distinguishable particle, especially for classical particle. So our next job to be to address this microcanonical ensemble representation for this different kind of particle. Okay, so that is our next part of discussion, so we'll move on to that. So first I will consider the case of boson, and I will be considering about fermion, and I'll be treating Maxwell Boltzmann discussion also in that case. Okay, so let me first bring the boson here for the discussion. Bosons. Okay, and in the case of bosons, what is the specialty is that first thing is that no restriction imposed, no restriction of the particle in a level. What it means is that whenever you represent a energy spectrum, so which having different energy levels, you can see there. Okay, and you will be having a energy cell like this, and again you have different energy levels over here, and okay, and here you can see that almost 4 energy levels are there within this energy cell. Okay, and like again 4 here, and let you assume that you will be having 4 particles here. Okay, so you have 4 particles here, and you want to distribute this particle. You can either distribute this entire particle in first energy itself. Okay, okay, so all the 4 particle can be, you can actually distribute in the first energy level itself, and sometimes you will be also can distribute the particle. You can distribute 3 particle in this level and 1 particle in the another level. Okay, so that means there is no restriction or for the distribution of particle in different energy levels. In the case of bosons, you can anywhere distribute different particles in this case. Okay, for the case of bosons basically. And also in boson the specialty is that the number of distinct ways of distribution in distinguishable particle. So here we will be discussing basically in the case of boson and fermions, we will be discussing about indistinguishable particles. Okay, so here the number of distinct ways of distributing Ni indistinguishable particle in Gi level, which I can represent as omega of I. So we already said that what is omega of I it is like the number of distinct ways of distributing Ni, that is Ni. Okay, okay, Ni indistinguishable particle. Okay, so this part of the section I'll just mark it like that. Okay, okay, Ni indistinguishable particle in Gi level, which is omega of I, so which is satisfying Bose-Einstein statistics. So let me just give a subscript B dot E, which is equal to Ni plus Gi minus 1 factorial divided by Ni factorial Gi minus 1 factorial. So this is the representation of number of distinct ways of distributing Ni indistinguishable particle in Gi level for what? Well, for bosons. Okay, and what is this? Is actually simply omega B dot Ei. Okay, now we need to address for what is the total number of particles. Okay, total number of ways or total number of microstates, okay, in which the whole Ni, the whole n particle can be distributed. N particle can be distributed. So which is I represent as omega, so which is a capital one, earlier one is a small one. Okay, so capital W or rather omega, you can take it as omega I, which is equal to pi I. Okay, pi I omega B dot Ei. Okay, we have seen that earlier. Okay, which is equal to, we can represent as pi I, that is it is the product of Ni plus Gi minus 1 factorial divided by, this is factorial, divided by Ni factorial Gi minus 1, where Gi is the number of level corresponding to ith one. Okay, ith cell. Okay, and this is the case for representation of total number of distinct microstate for the distribution of Ni particle. Okay, so this is small correction is there. Okay, this is basically sigma Ni. Okay, now it's clear. Okay, so this is how we'll be having the omega Ni corresponding to this one, and once you get this one, it is easy, right? It is easy to find the NVE. NVE is a representation of sigma of Ni omega, capital omega Ni. So once you get this one, you can directly identify the microstate for bosons by using this representation. Now next we will be discussing about fermions. How fermions case, how it will be different. Fermions. Okay, fermions case we also discussing about the particle which is indistinguishable, but in fermions we have seen that which is actually anti-symmetric wave function, and we know that which is actually following Pauli's exclusion principle. So which is saying that two particles with same energy state cannot be, or same wave function cannot be occupied in the same energy level. Okay, so that means in a single level, okay, so in a single level there is no more than one particle. Okay, no more than one particle. What it means is that if there are two particles with the same energy state, should not occupy in the same energy state. Okay, so that was Pauli's exclusion principle is saying that. So only one particle is allowed to one particle with the same energy state if we are discussing. So only one particle is allowed at one energy state. So let me just say that we have Ni equal to 3 and Gi equal to 3. So what is Ni? It is a number of particles and Gi is a number of levels. How do I represent this one? So if there are three levels are there, so that is this is one G1, G2 and G3, and we have three particle. So first particle will be on first level, and second particle will be on second level, and the third particle will be on the third level, because these all are possessing same energy state. Okay, so it should be only one particle at one stage. Now let me just say one case, that is Ni equal to 3 and Gi equal to 4. What it means is that we have three particles and four levels corresponding to that. Okay, so we'll have four levels here and we have only three particles which can be distributed like this, and the third level, so the fourth level can be kept as empty as well. Okay, so these two actually is okay for fermion case. These two condition can be followed, no problem with that condition. Okay, now there is another condition where I say that Ni, the number of particles is 3 and the number of levels are 2. In that state there are two levels, two particles can be occupied at the two different levels, but the third particle cannot be occupied the either in the any of the level. So this is not a possible way of distribution for fermions. Okay, so this is not possible for the case of fermions in that situation. And what do I say, that if there are n particle, if there are ni particle, there should be I number of levels, there should be I levels should be there corresponding to this one. Okay, that means if there are n3, then there should be three levels corresponding to this one. Okay, then only we can occupy. So if there are n uh, three levels, and let me just have Gi, and there will be all the levels will be completely complete in that case. So we'll have Gi means there will be I levels corresponding to that, and sorry, this one is not level, this is number of particle. Okay, so I number of particle will be there. So if I take Gi minus Ni, this will be equal to what? So this will be equal to either 0, which, or I can say that which will be empty. That means this should both this should particle. Okay, both particles should be either what, either should be equal or the number of particles should be less than. So what in general what I can say that Ni Ni cannot exceed the value of exceed Gi. Here I am not talking about the case of the particle with spin. Okay, you know that if there are two particles with a different spin, so which are having different energy level, so I can possess one particle on the up spin and the other particle in the down spin. So this is possible by Pauli's exclusion principle also, because these two having two different energy levels. I'm not talking about that one. I'm simply saying that the particle is indistinguishable. Okay, so in that situation each particle is possessing same energy which cannot be occupied in the same energy level, so should be distributed in different energy levels when you consider a fermions of that kind. Okay, now in this situation what is the number of distinct ways of distributing Ni for fermions, which will be equal to omega small omega Fd. It is a Fermi-Dirac distribution. So here the distribution function will be omega Fdi will be equal to Gi factorial divided by Ni factorial Gi minus Ni factorial. Okay, and the total number of microstate, or the total number of distinct ways is omega fd sig ni for n number of distribution function, which is equal to pi I, where pi is denoting the product of gi factorial divided by ni factorial gi minus ni factorial. So this is the representation of total number of microstates with the distribution of ni particles. Okay, so this is how we do represent the distribution function for Fermi-Dirac statistics, or rather I can say that for fermions. Okay, next we say that there is another class of particle which we call it as Maxwell-Boltzmann, which is following Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, and those particle we call it as Boldstone. Okay, mostly is basically they are actually classical particle itself. Okay, which is following Maxwell Boltzmann statistics. Okay, and these are classical particle ni factorial divided by pi I ni factorial into pi I g of I raised to ni. So here you can see that there is a gi raised to na, you can see. So this is why, because we are discussing about classical particle, that too a indistinguishable particle. So this particle can be distinguishable at any energy levels. So you can distribute in the same energy levels, you can distribute same type of particles again and again, because we can distinguish each particle from another. Okay, so that's why it is ni is coming on the raised to gi raised to ni is coming over there. And here we are teaching about classical particles, right? So classical particle means we know that it can, there is a possibility of a chance of Gibbs paradox in this case. Okay, there will be probably there will be a occurrence of Gibbs paradox can be observed in this case as well. Okay, so in order to avoid this Gibbs paradox, what we will be doing is that we'll just divide this function with what will be divide this word by 1 by n factorial. We'll just take the again function, this function. Okay, 1 by ni factorial. Okay, 1 by ni factorial will just divide this entire function, so that this distribution function becomes what, this will be equal to this ni factorial will got cancelled, we'll have pi I. Okay, pi I gi raised to ni divided by ni factorial. Here also you can distribute pi I, or rather you can keep it as simply pi I however and a function, and this is gi raised to ni divided by ni factorial. So this is the representation of by resolving. So what I'm doing here is that what I'll be doing is that I'll be just dividing this with respect to 1 by ni factorial in order to avoid the Gibbs paradox situation, where the entropy should be minimized or entropy should be equal to 0. For that we will be introducing 1 by ni factorial to the above distribution function. Then will be the final version will be in this fashion. And now what we proceed is that we will be proceeding with the representation of entropy for boson, fermions and Maxwell-Boltzmann particle, which we will be representing for each cases by using this distribution function that we have discussed already. Okay, so that was our next part of the discussion. So we'll be discussing of the entropy notation, and we'll be also addressing whether this whether this distribution function is uh, actually addressing the same classical representation that we are discussed earlier. That means we'll be discussing about pressure as well in terms of the above distribution function. So we'll just talk about entropy for different cases first. So entropy, as we know, S is equal to K ln omega nve. Okay, and we know that K ln and omega, we know that omega is the representation of what? It is sigma distribution of ni particle over capital omega ni. Okay, so when you take that, you will be getting the corresponding entropy. And when you do that, so we can say that it is actually a logarithmic. This representation is a log of sum of a term, right? Okay, so which is equivalent to log of the largest term. Okay, so here actually you are taking the summation of this entire term, then you are taking the log of that one. So the log of sum of the different term, which is equal to log of the largest, which is equivalent to taking the log of the largest term in that representation. And we know that the largest term we do represent that ni star, so which we say that the most probable, okay, most probable value of the distribution, value of the different given distribution. Okay, so which I can say that in that terms S is equal to, I can represent that K, this K is actually KB, that's Boltzmann constant, KB ln omega, this I can say that simply Ni star. So this is the most probable value of the given distribution in that case. And we know that if you check the different distribution of this one, that is the entropy. If you take, so since we already dealt with the representation, if you take the delta ln omega ni star, which should be equal to 0 if is satisfying Gibbs paradox situation. Okay, so we know that sigma ni equal to what? Total number of particle, and sigma ni epsilon I is equal to total energy E. Okay, and total number of particles is a constant value, that is we already know for the microcanonical case. And sigma delta ni star, if you take, this will be equal to 0. And similarly, if you take sigma delta ni star epsilon I, if you take that, also will be getting a 0 in this situation. So that is equal to, this 2 becomes 0. Then I can say that the above representation, that is if I take delta ln omega ni star minus sigma alpha delta ni star minus beta sigma delta ni star epsilon I, which is equal to 0. Okay, and these two representations we used to call as Lagrange undetermined multipliers. Okay, so here you can see that this delta ln omega ni star equal to 0. How it comes? We are actually taking the derivative of the most probable value. Okay, that is the maximum value corresponding to the maximum entropy value. Then if you will be getting the, if you take the derivative of that one, it will be equal to 0. So now we know that sigma ni equal to n, that is the total number of particle, right? So we know that this is a constant value and energy also a constant. Then if you take the derivative of this one, that will be equal to what? That will be equal to 0. Okay, so this is, since these two are constant, then you will be getting the value will be equal to 0. And here you can see that since these two values are 0, I'm just multiplying with a constant, that is alpha and beta are the two equation. And if I just write like this, sigma delta ln omega ln I star uh, minus sigma alpha delta n star minus beta sigma delta n star sigma I, which is equal to 0, because these two terms are already 0. Just I replace this equation there, so which will be a useful representation, and we call this representation as Lagrangian undetermined multiplier. Okay, so which we represent as, so this is the equation. Okay, sorry. So this equation we call it as Lagrangian multiplier. Okay, undetermined multiplier. Okay, so this we have just represented here, and what we'll be doing on that, we'll be firstly addressing on our this entropy representation in order to find the most probable value. So kb ln omega, capital omega n I star. This star I just replaced with the ni itself. You understand that this ni is representing the most probable value. Okay, so instead of, let me just say that ni star equal to ni for convenience. Okay, so which is equal to, let me just say that it is k ln pi I small omega I. Okay, so that is s is equal to basically k b ln. So this pi I omega I means, I already said that it is actually a representation of omega 1 into omega 2 into omega 3 etc, like that. Is a product of this one different representation, and which I can say that kb ln, this product of this logarithmic function, I can write it as ln of omega 1 plus ln of omega, sorry, ln of omega 2 plus ln of omega 3 plus etc. Okay, okay, so this is how I can represent this notation. So that means I can say that the entropy S is equal to, sigma I kb ln omega of I. Okay, so this is the entropy representation. We can simply notate like this. Okay, understand this. This is a small omega. There is a number of distinct microstate corresponding to ith cell. Okay, now we'll just share the discussion, or we'll extend to the bosons case. Okay, so for bosons, omega I, we already know that omega E equal to Ni plus Gi minus 1. Okay, understand that this Ni is subscript. Okay, factorial divided by Ni factorial into Gi minus 1 factorial. Okay, and we know that sigma ln omega I. Okay, if you take that, you'll be getting the entropy notation for boson. So that is equal to sigma I ln ni Gi minus 1 factorial divided by Ni factorial into Gi minus 1 factorial. Okay, which if I do, what I'll be getting, that sigma equal to sigma I curly bracket ln of ni plus gi minus 1 factorial minus ln ni factorial gi minus 1 factorial. Okay, because I can just represent, this is actually what, this is a representation of ln ab. Okay, so ln ab I can raise ln a plus ln b. Okay, so in similar fashion I can do represent that. Okay, so which is equal to sigma I, if I expand this one, ln ni plus gi minus 1 factorial ln ni factorial minus ln gi minus 1 factorial, so that is equal to sigma I ni plus gi minus 1 ln ni plus gi minus 1 minus ni plus gi minus 1 minus ni ln I. So I'm just actually just trying to solve it out. So this is ln ni, not factorial. Okay, plus ni minus gi minus 1 ln gi minus 1 plus gi minus 1. Okay, so this is how we'll be having, and now we just take an assumption that gi minus 1 equal to, because gi is greater than 1, so in that times gi minus 1, so let me just, which is equivalent to gi. Okay, so let me just take it as, and I hope you remember that how do we describe ln a. Ln a factorial is equal to, I can write it as a ln a minus a. Okay, so that's how we have done that earlier representation as well. And here if you consider gi minus 1 equal to, gi minus 1 is equivalent to gi, then we'll be having the above representation, sigma I ni plus gi ln n factorial plus gi minus ni plus gi minus ni ln n factorial plus n factorial minus gi ln gi plus gi. So here you can remove gi and ni different terms over here, then what you'll be getting is that finally sigma I ni ln ni plus gi, okay, plus we'll have gi into ln into ni plus gi. So you can just work out what I have done here, because I am not spending too much there, you can understand from here itself. Here is basically I am just solving this entire representation, gi ln gi, so which is equal to sigma I ni ln ni plus gi divided by ni. So I can write like this, plus the next term will be gi into ln into ni plus gi divided by gi. Okay, so that is equal to sigma I ni ln gi by ni plus 1 plus gi ln into 1 plus ni by gi. Okay, so this is how we will be getting the representation. And what is this one? This one we know that this is a representation of sigma ln omega of I. Okay, so which is equal to what? Which is equal to, which I can say that which is equivalent to S by K, where S is the entropy, K is the Boltzmann constant Kb. Okay, so this is the representation that we will be getting for what? For the case of Boltzmann case, the entropy representation will be getting in terms of Ni, where Ni is the number of particles of ith level and Gi is the number of levels for the ith cell. Okay, and similar fashion, if you follow fermions, for fermions you will be getting omega of I is equal to Gi I factorial, that is we already had said, and Ni I factorial Gi minus Ni factorial. Okay, okay, so in that situation, if you take S is equal to the entropy, S is equal to, sorry, okay, the entropy S is equal to Kb ln omega I for fermions, so that is equal to S by Kb, so that is equal to ln omega of I. Okay, so that is equal to ln of, okay, sigma, okay, here it will be sigma as well. Okay, so sigma ln gi factorial ni factorial gi minus ni factorial. So this I can write it as sigma I ln gi factorial minus ln ni factorial into gi minus ni factorial. So which is equal to, if I further proceed with this one, which is equal to sigma I into gi ln gi minus gi ln ni factorial minus ln gi minus ni factorial. Okay, so in like earlier representation, so here this also, if you solve it out, what you will be getting is that sigma I gi ln gi minus gi minus ni ln ni plus ni minus gi minus ni into ln gi minus I. Okay, plus gi minus ni. Okay, so here also I have just utilized the same theorem of logarithm. Okay, that is ln n factorial is equal to a ln a minus a. that same representation already I have utilized here as well. So what I will be getting here is that sigma I, if I again solve it out here, so I will be ln gi minus ni ln n factor ni minus gi ln gi minus ni, okay, into will be having plus will be having ni into ln gi minus ni. Okay, just check that if any terms I have left out. Okay, in final what you are supposed to get is that s by k equal to, okay, s by kb, that is equal to sigma I ni ln gi minus n by divided by ni minus gi ln gi minus ni divided by gi. Okay, like we get for the boson cases. In similar way we will be getting in the like this fashion. This again I can maybe further reduce to ni ln gi by ni minus 1. Okay, like we have done earlier cases, minus gi into ln 1 minus n ni by gi. Okay, so this is your s by kb, that is the entropy representation for what, for fermions. Okay, now we got for boson and fermion the particle representation. Now we'll be representing the same one for classical particle, that is the entropy representation for classical particle. For classical particle we know that omega I, okay, which is equal to gi raised to ni divided by what, divided by ni factorial. So here we'll be having pi I representation as well. Okay, so here you can say that it is s by k, s by kb again, so that is equal to sigma I ln omega of I so that is equal to sigma I ln gi raised to ni divided by ni factorial, so that is equal to sigma I ln gi raised to ni minus ln ni factorial. Okay, same way you have to reduce the representation. We need to find it out by reducing the logarithmic representation. It is ni ln gi minus ni ln ni plus ni, so that is s by k b, you will be getting as sigma I ni ln gi divided by ni plus ni. So this is the representation of entropy for bosons. Okay, so bosons, the entropy representation will be like this. Okay, or sorry, not bosons, this is for classical particle, right? That is Boltzmann. Okay, max, which is the particle which is satisfying Maxwell Boltzmann statistics. Okay, so this is the representation of entropy notation. So in general what we can say that in general s by kb is equal to I could represent as sigma ni ln gi divided by ni minus a. Okay, minus gi divided by a. Okay, into ln 1 minus a ni divided by gi. Okay, where a equal to, we can in the above representation dot a equal to, you can just keep it as minus 1, then you will be getting the above representation in that fashion. Okay, and you can just check it out for the all case different values of a what is represented over there. For I can say that a equal to minus 1 for what, so it will be for boson, and a equal to 1 for fermions, and if you substitute a equal to 0, then this general equation will be valid for classical particle. So it is easy to understand this general equation. S by Kb equal to sigma ni ln gi by ni minus a minus gi by a ln 1 minus a ni by gi. Okay, so this is a in general representation of entropy notation for boson, fermion and classical particle. And classical particle, we know it is a Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution which is following. Okay, so this is the what we will be getting for in the entropy representation for different particle. First we have identified the distribution function for different type of particle, bosons, fermions and classical particle. Then by using the distribution function, we have identified the entropy notation for the each one, and finally we have represent the general form of such representation by taking the in terms of a, where a equal to minus 1, then the general equation will be valid for boson, and a equal to 1, then it will be equal to fermion. Then if you substitute a equal to 0, then the general equation will be valid for Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics. Okay, and this part of the discussion there is a few more to be added, that is about the discussion of identifying the most probable value corresponding to this one, so that we will be discussing on the next class, so that will be better, and this class will be bit lengthy, but most of the solution that what we are trying to uh, derive is that is for only for the finding entropy from the distribution function for Maxwell-Boltzmann, boson and fermion cases. Okay, so you just look into the derivation of the entropy of each particles. So once we can understand that, the remaining thing that we have discussed today is much easier. Okay, so try to understand that, and next class we will be discussing about the most probable value corresponding to this for the simple cases where we have said that ni star and all. Okay, so that we will be discussing on the next class.